What is up, guys? Dan here, and what I want to talk about are six essential skills for extraordinary performance. And this is really for any entrepreneur, and especially those of us in the space of professional services. It's really for any leader, but my emphasis will be on those of us in the coaching and consulting space. For those of you who know me, you know that I've been a coach consultant for the last 10 years. I began as a business consultant and gradually uh, incorporated, as part of business consulting, I began to do some leadership work, and that led into leadership coaching as well. And so for the last 10 years, I've been in business and leadership coaching and consulting. And over the years, I've continued to study and grow as a leader myself. I've led a number of teams. I've worked with a number of leaders, and essentially, I've identified these six skill sets that I believe every high performer carries, and especially if you're going to play big as a coach, as a consultant, then you need to have these down. I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen really great consultants and coaches struggle. I know of at least three persons that I can name who well educated, very versed in their technical space, took the consulting route, and they just struggled because of the lack of one or more of these skills. And I want to share them with you, and I hope that you'll take them to heart and you will do what it takes to grow in these areas. Because when you do, you change the entire game for yourself. The first one I want to talk about is not really a skill to acquire, but it's something that you must become and develop, and that is a Titan's mindset. I shared a video a few days ago on what the Titan's mindset is, and asked the question: do you carry a warrior's mindset or a Titan's mindset? A Titan, if you go back to Greek mythology, the Titans were, one step above the gods in Greek mythology. Well, we're not going to discuss mythology right now, but I use that analogy to suggest that you must have a very strong mindset. Mental toughness is very key in this business. Now, here's the thing. Mental toughness is in no way an excuse for stupidity. One of the mistakes that I made earlier was to be stupid and thinking that I was being mentally tough. Here's the difference. When you're mentally tough, or when you develop mental toughness, you can set goals and dreams and aspirations, and you can remain positive and be affirmative and take positive actions, but you are fully aware that things could go wrong, and therefore you have a plan. Now, I know the personal development gurus may not suggest this, but hey, I want you to understand that in life, you live on a physical plane in a world of duality. And so things will either go your way or the other way, or the highway. They will either go the way you want them to go, or they go wrong. And old Murphy is always around, and Murphy's law seems to suggest time and again that if anything will go wrong, it does go wrong at the worst possible time. So the Titan's mindset allows you to recognize that in as much as I'm moving forward to this goal, there is a possibility that, as the legal guys call it, acts of God, natural disaster, any number of circumstances could prevent me from reaching that space. So you don't want to make plans, and that's one of the things that I also used to do. Make grand plans based on my anticipated performance in a particular area. Let's say I sent a proposal and I was supposed to get maybe $15,000 from there. I begin to make plans and make commitments based on what I expect from this proposal, and when they didn't go through, I was a mess. The Titan's mindset allows you to be realistic, but even beyond that, it suggests that you don't see the goal as something that you're striving for, but you see your goal as a part of you already. If I'm going to be an exceptional consultant, I'm not seeing it as a destination, I'm seeing it as who I am. A while back, I watched The Rock's Titans games, and he was giving an analogy of Mount Olympus, or they use Mount Olympus in these games. But again, going back to ancient Greece, when the Olympic Games, the early Olympic Games were played, Mount Olympus was the highest target. And in this reality show called the Titan Games, you have really strong athletes competing, but they also realize that it's just a game. You see, sometimes we attach our sense of self-worth to that which we desire, and when we don't accomplish them, we lose ourselves, we lose confidence, we lose our personality. Now, if you're going to be a high performer, you have to be ready to detach from failures, because unless you're not playing a high enough game, you will fail quite frequently. A Titan recognizes that failure is just a part of the process. And because the goal is not something that he or she is striving for, but it's the embodiment of who you are, you don't lose anything if you fail. So that's the first thing you need to grasp. The second thing, and the second skill set that you need to develop, the second attribute that you need to carry, is what I call radical confidence. In the business of professional services, you determine what value you bring. One of the downsides of those of you who know that I spend a lot of time in international development consulting, the one major downside that I have with international development consulting is many times the clients have a ceiling of how much they can pay for a certain service. And if you're consulting in that space, while the pay is good, you're restricted to what the client determines. So there was once an occasion where a client's ceiling was $250 per day for a particular service, and I was being hired, and I made it clear that I will not do it for $250. Till today, there's no way to really verify, but I'm probably still the highest paid consultant for this client, because in the end, they had to pay me $325. While everybody else gets $250 as the ceiling, they had to pay me $325. But this wasn't the first time that I did that. Even when I was an employee, I negotiated a salary, an income for myself that was 2 times what everybody else was making because I had the confidence to ask for what I wanted. If you're going to play big as a coach, as a consultant, as a service provider, you've got to be confident. But even before talking about the price, be confident in your ability to deliver exceptional value. The reason some of us are not confident in our ability to deliver exceptional value is because we haven't taken the time to work on ourselves. We haven't taken the time to improve. You want to be a coach, but you've not hired your own coach. You're not part of any coaching program. And you think by reading a book and taking a course on Udemy, you're going to be a great coach? F that. If you want to be an exceptional coach, then you have to do exceptional work on yourself. You have to study. You have to take time away from yourself, from everything else, and spend time with yourself. You must do introspection. You must do the damn work. So radical confidence begins with you doing the work on yourself and then growing in confidence to go out there and serve people. Once you've done the work, then you are able to confidently say, this is the result I can create for you, and this is what it's going to cost you. I had a client come see me the other day, and we were having a conversation around business planning. And she's like, so what exactly am I paying for? After I had charged her the fee that was 3 times what she thought she was going to pay, she asked that question. What exactly am I paying for? And here's the thing. Other people would have then tried to give a long explanation and try to convince the client. I just grabbed a sheet of paper. I drew a straight line across it, something like this. So let me see if I can do this for you. So I grabbed a sheet of paper and I drew a straight line like this. And I said, can you see that? Oh boy, the reflection is so bad. Sorry. Okay. So I said, this is where you are. And this is where you're going to get to with your business. You are paying me to work with you in developing the strategies and creating the tools that will take you from here to here in the shortest possible time. Now, we can go up this way and arrive, or we can take a straight line and arrive. That will depend on you. And I was done. I was done. That's radical confidence. Radical confidence means that you can double, triple, even quadruple your price because you believe in the value that you're creating for your clients. Radical confidence means that you can guarantee your clients' results because you know that you're not just going to be taking anybody into your coaching or consulting program. And this is especially for the coaches. If you're just going to take any client, then yeah, it may not be wise to guarantee results. But if you're going to have, I just got off a coaching call and we talked about prerequisites. If you're going to have prerequisites, you're going to have criteria that people must meet before they join your program, before they become clients. Heck yeah, you can guarantee the results. You can guarantee return on investment because you know you are vested into this and your client is invested into it and the client is going to do the damn work. Now, here's one of the benefits of actually charging high fees. Clients do the work. You see, when I paid $10,000 for a coach, I showed up on time. I did the homework. When even way back in 2011, when I hired my first coach and for $3,000, I did the work. Because at that time, $3,000, just a few months ago, was 10 times what I was earning full time. A few months prior to that, at that point. So that was a lot of money to invest in a coach. And because for me it was a lot of money, I knew I wanted a return on that investment. So you actually do your clients a disservice by bringing them into a cheap program. Because that's why many courses don't yield the kind of results they're capable of yielding. Because when a guy pays $97 or $47 or $200, yeah, maybe for some people $200 is a significant amount. But you know, there are those courses where you pay $40 for them and $10. Let me ask you, how many of you have signed up for so many courses on Udemy that you pay $5 for that you've not completed? I know I'm one of those. I mean, hey, $5, $7. You buy the course, you don't do it because, hey, it was just $7. So radical confidence is what you need if you want to create the kind of impact that you think you want to create. It begins with building that radical confidence in yourself. Doing the work so that you're confident in yourself and you can make bold claims and stand by it because you believe in what you're doing. It's all about making the decision to say no to the things that you want to say no to and yes to the things that you want to say yes to. And we'll talk about that a little bit further. You need to become an extraordinary communicator. If you're going to make a difference, then you must be able to communicate your ideas in ways that people will understand. In ways that connect with people. You see, many coaches, many consultants, many service providers, they get caught up in theatrics. They get caught up in describing the logistics of their consulting or their coaching program. Your clients don't care about your logistics. Your clients want to know two things. Do you understand them? Can you help them? Do you understand what the heck they're dealing with? And can you help them get over it? You see, when a lady comes to you and is at the verge of losing her marriage, she doesn't care how exactly you're going to save that marriage, like the steps that you're going to take. No. She wants to know two things. Do you understand what it means to go through a divorce? And that is the same for a guy who cares about his marriage as well. Do you understand what it means to be losing your marriage? And can you help me save my marriage? If you can answer those two questions confidently, you've got the client. And how do you answer those questions? You answer those questions by being an extraordinary communicator, by sharing stories of people in a similar situation that you've helped, or if maybe yourself have been in that situation and how you overcame it. And now that person is connecting with you. They don't care about your technical mumbo jumbo. They don't care about your intellectualism. No. Have you helped anybody else? Or have you experienced this in any way? What can you relate to that client's situation? So to become an extraordinary communicator, you need to learn to tell great stories. So when I tell you of my friend who has 3 master's degrees, lots of experience, has lectured at universities, has worked with major organizations, but just can't get it right when it comes to becoming a consultant? You understand that I know what it means to be educated, but you can't get clients. How good of a storyteller are you? Do you keep stories? What are your personal stories? Many people ask me, why do I do what I do? And I always tell them, depending on the person, a different story. Because there are a number of reasons why I do what I do. For one, it's a passion. Teaching and training is a passion. But why do I want to work with people and help them live their dreams in particular? Because in 2013, I lost my brother to an accident. He was really gifted, an artist, gifted with languages. And all he wanted to do was to work in international service. But because of complacency and circumstances, he took a job that he didn't like, but needed to pay the bills. And at that time, I was coaching. And I had reached out to him a number of times, trying to encourage him to put a plan in place to pursue his dreams. And he was always like, I'll do it, I'll do it. And then one day coming from church, he gets hit by a drunk driver. And he's no more. His death made me realize how valuable my work is. Because it took me a while to forgive myself. And I kept wondering, what would have happened had I pushed him a little harder? What would have happened if I had not believed and bought into his story for why he wasn't ready to begin pursuing his dreams? And that leads me to help people pursue their dreams and go after that which is on their hearts. And I don't buy into their stories anymore. So you see how that story communicates who I am and what I stand for? Your clients will connect with stories more than anything else. And so if you want to be a great communicator, get great at telling stories. You also want to develop the skill of deep influence. What does it mean? How can you influence people? You see, your job is to help people do what they know they want to do, but are not doing for one reason or the other. And so you must understand, you must develop a desire to understand why people do what they do and why people don't do what they say they want to do. If you're going to be great in coaching or consulting, then you must understand behavioral triggers. You must understand decision-making patterns. So don't tell me that you took a $20 life coaching certification course and so now you're a coach. No. You need to go and learn that shit properly. Understand why people do what they do. You see, I've always been fascinated by why two people will come from the same background and yet turn out completely differently. And that fascination has led me to a lot of discoveries and a lot of learnings. When you have that kind of knowledge, you are able to influence the decisions people will make. And you influence those decisions not at a conscious level, but at a deeper subconscious emotional level. That's where lasting change occurs. If you just explain something to somebody intellectually, they're going to get it for the first 5 minutes, but when they're gone from your presence, they've probably lost it. So you want to be able to influence people at the deeper subconscious and emotional level. That's what deep influence is. You want to exhibit masterful productivity. Busyness is not productivity. Earlier today, I shared that one of the most productive things that I do is to just take an aimless drive. I just drive. For me, I'm productive when I'm creating value. So when I'm conceptualizing a book or a piece of content, or I've read my client's terms of reference and I need to process my approach to the project, or there's a proposal that I need to do and I need to develop the methodology, then I go for a drive. Because while I'm driving, everything is cooking. And then by the time I get back, I empty. And if I'm not driving, maybe I'll grab an action movie while things are cooking. You must master and be in control of your own time and schedule. Choose when you're going to work and when you're not going to work. And stick to it. Those around me know that Monday mornings are not my working days, unless under serious circumstances. From the day I chose to become my own boss, I chose not to work on Monday mornings. And it feels damn good to watch everybody else grinding to work on a Monday and I'm chilling. And I'll get into my office at 2, and everybody that works with me, my entire team, which is not a lot anymore, of 3, we get to work at 2 o'clock on Mondays. Because we can. We've chosen to operate that way. So you must, I see a lot of people talking about, you must be an early riser, and 5 a.m. club and all of those things. Listen, I do wake up early sometimes, but sometimes I go to bed very late. And you cannot expect me to go to bed at 3 and wake up at 5. So productivity for you will not be productivity for me, and that's the case. So find the productivity framework that works for you and stick to it. Don't listen to what those other people say. If 5 a.m. works for somebody, it does not have to work for you. And if it works for you, it does not have to work for somebody else. And it doesn't mean that any of you is better than the other. Finally. And under productivity, I talked about no. Under masterful productivity, that's when you're going to have to say no to a lot of things so you can say yes to the few things that matter. Finally, you want to develop the skill sets of forging strategic collaborations. You cannot go at it alone and expect to succeed. It doesn't work. You're not an island. You must learn to collaborate. Forge strategic collaborations. Win-win situations. Don't just be a taker. Give. And also don't just be a giver. Take. So guys, develop a Titan's mindset. Develop radical confidence. Practice extraordinary communications. Learn to influence deep. Become masterfully productive. And forge strategic collaborations. These are the 6 essential skill sets you're going to need if you're going to play at a higher level. And these are exactly what I teach in the Extraordinary Breakthrough Experience. And if you've not heard about it, you are now. Because come January 2021, when the next cohort begins, we're going to be going through these 6 essentials over the space of 12 weeks. And we're going to go deep. Extraordinary Breakthrough Experience is a small mastermind of 15 persons. And at the moment, 6 of those slots for the January cohort are gone. If you want to play big as a coach, as a consultant, as a leader, then I really encourage you to reach out to me and let's have a brief conversation over Messenger. And the reason this is important is because I need to know whether you are the right fit for this. And after that conversation, I can send you an application form. And if it's not right for you, that's great. But I want you to take these 6 skill sets and take them to heart. Because if you want to play big, it begins here. I'll catch you later.